The world is your runway.
Alright, you guys, get ready with me to talk about Drag Race UK 5 and kind of UK as a whole and as a franchise. So, girl, let me put my headband in. Basically, I'm like, where do we start? I feel like we should probably start with the most recent season, obviously, and most recent episode. So, how are we feeling about the Snatch Game, you guys? Honestly, I don't think it was the most terribly funny Snatch Game ever. I was honestly kind of shocked with the winner. I mean, Ginger Johnson didn't do bad, but at the same time, I was kind of like, oh, this is Kate Butch's moment. And like, I feel like Kate Butch kind of was the one that let go the most. I kind of get what they were saying, how it was funny, but it was kind of one note and one shade of Kate that we've kind of seen throughout the whole season. Which brings me to Ginger Johnson, who honestly this whole season, her storyline has been very strange. Like, it seems like at the beginning, a lot of the girls were kind of counting her out, which it kind of made sense. Like, her fashion wasn't really doing that much at the beginning. Like, she wasn't terribly funny. Not that there was that many comedy challenges at the beginning of the season. But overall, for me, I was like, the whole time basically, I was like, Ginger Johnson is the next to go. Like, after, Alexis St. Pete and Miss Naomi Campbell. Like, after those two, I was like, Ginger. But honestly, she has been really impressing me. Like, with the Rusical, I honestly think, like, that small cow part, it's the same thing. It's like that Shea Coulee, Black China-ism of, like, that small role that is kind of one of the standouts. My glue stick broke. You guys! That's actually I've had this glue stick since 2021, so I can't even be mad about it. Where was it? What was I talking about? Oh, like, it was one of those small, like, standout rolls, you know? Hold on, let me get my fucking... Oh, this one. We're gonna brush these brows up. And y'all, I'm doing this on my iPhone. I cannot see shit. I feel like I am doing this in the fucking dark. But, what was I saying? Right, it was one of those smaller rolls, but she really, as that cow, this is what I'm saying, and it's like, you see this with a lot of musicals, it's like, she perfectly executed that. Like, somebody else would have either under-exaggerated the moves or over-exaggerated it. She did it in a way that, obviously, it's drag, you're over-exaggerating, but it was like, everything about it for me was perfect, and I agreed with her win, just in the sense that, I don't know. Y'all know, she just delivered it well on how she was supposed to, like, how she did all the moves, and to me, if you just saw that professional queen, and I feel like that's kind of the edit that she's been getting, is just almost that professional edit. I don't think she's going to win this season, but I think they are rewarding her for being so professional and being so consistently funny and prepared. Although it was weird at the beginning of the Snatch Game, they kind of gave her like a shady like woo-coo-coo noise, and you're like, oh, is this like not going well? Because the first question left us like, oh, like, how's this gonna be? But she quickly recovered. Y'all, I hate it when the brows do this. It's like, girl, can we go? And y'all see how irritated my skin gets? Because I literally have to push so hard against it to get it to go anywhere. But that's drag for you, you guys. Anyways, let's talk about Tamara in the Snatch Game. I'm sorry, I'm about to go off about how much I just love Tamara. Like, truly, so unexpected. Like, in the Meet the Queens, she definitely was, like, loud and goofy, but you also were like, what the fuck is this bitch saying? Like, you truly, like, basically had no idea. Also, Trixie Mattel taught me this. Lick your fucking glue stick, you guys. It's just going to, like, give you that extra meld. Is it probably disgusting, unsanitary? Absolutely. But I'm not here to be sanitary, I'm here to be beautiful. What was I saying? Oh. Tamara Thomas is just, for me, such an unexpected standout. I mean, I knew she was gonna be beautiful. You know, she's Tamara's sister, so I was like, okay, maybe she'll be a little bit shady, I don't know. But honestly, she's so funny. And she's so like chaotically crazy to a point where it's like, what was I saying? Oh, she is so crazy. Like her confessional, she's like shady, but it's like shady in a way where you're like, she's cutting up with you, you know? Oh, just got powder all over myself. But you know what I mean? She's just so effervescently funny. Like even if Robin Williams, like, I don't know, I was like, I could go either way with her. Like she could really bomb it or just be so crazy to where it works. And she was honestly so funny. So funny. Like I think Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire, as a character, she did that voice so good, but then the thing with Rue that came up in the workroom about like doing accents, she perfectly translated that, and I love when queens take Rue's advice. Now sometimes, I mean, and this gets to UK as a whole, Rue almost likes to sabotage some of these snatch games when she told Scarlett Harlot, who's like, what if you were Macaulay Culkin and did the Home Alone screen? I'm like, was she planning that? I can't remember. I swear she was like, do Macaulay Culkin, because that's what you look like. And then something, people disagreed. I actually thought John Burrs, like her telling John Burrs to do the leprechaun was actually very funny. But people can agree to disagree with that one. Anyways, Tamara, this episode, she was really great. Kate Butch, I agree with what the judges are saying. Like, you can see there's just such raw talent and raw humor there, but it's like on the runway and her drag just in general, it's not always up to par. And I hate to say that as like she's so talented, but it's one of those things where it's like, girl, we gotta get it together, you know? And it's like, well, how much can you get together when all of your drag was brought from home? You know, it's like, and that's the one thing about Drag Race, where they're like, you gotta improve these runways, girl. It's like, I can't. I brought it from home. Anyways, let's see. I'm gonna find my foundation. Sorry, y'all. This is a new setup for me. Now, pivoting to Caramel, I want to talk about her edit this whole season because, in my opinion, she's receiving a pseudo winner edit. Out of everyone, she's getting kind of the most confessionals. I'd say her and Tamara are kind of like the confessional queens of this season. But these past 2 episodes, it's almost like they've been, I don't know, like preying on her downfall. I think she struggles with comedy a lot, but it's like, they just, I don't know, her interactions with Rue are just kind of uncomfortable sometimes, and I don't know why that is. But like, since episode 1, when she walks in that workroom, I mean, obviously, on the runway, she never misses, but it's like, that first episode, those first 3 episodes, for me, I was getting heavy winner edit, and I think she still is. I think they're giving her a storyline of like, you know, slowing down in the middle half of the competition and then rising back up. But I'm not sure how they're quite gonna do that. Like, if we have a roast, I feel like she's definitely gonna be in the bottom again. She could win this acting challenge next week. I think, for me, I think she is their winner pick, but it's just, I don't know, it's difficult to know. I think UK has, in my opinion, actually been pretty predictable with their winner picks. This is so pale, you guys. This does not match it at all. So from the first couple of episodes watching Caramel, I was like, I think she's getting a very strong winner edit. She was getting so many confessionals. She was in the top for the first 3 episodes. Well, obviously she was low for the second episode, but you know, sequentially it was like, okay, they're seeing Caramel in this competition, like the entrance, you know, her entrance already was like, okay, this is like, they're hyping her up and it's not like a normal entrance, you know what I mean? Like, she was getting that hype. And I think Drag Race UK, out of all the franchises, in my opinion, has been kind of the most obvious with their winner picks. Like, if we go through, the Vivienne is very much like the standard of a season 1 winner. Like, she represents, in my opinion, the best her country and also the best just like streamlined drag aesthetic. I think in a way Davina also kind of fit that role, but I think the Vivienne was a bit more, she was a bit more fresh, but also she still had that traditional, just that traditional drag aesthetic, traditional UK drag, whatever. You get what I'm saying. And then we get to season 2, and Lawrence Chaney, I feel like it was definitely something, you need someone different than the Vivienne. I think in a way, they could have gone with Bimini though. And I'm not saying I wanted Bimini to win, Lawrence to win. I was really good with either of them winning. The Vivienne had the best track record on season 1, so it almost was like setting a precedent of like, are they gonna go with the best track record again? Because if they were gonna do that, then you would go Bimini. But I think Lawrence was just so funny. But I also think it's about having a strong drag aesthetic and a strong brand. And as much as I love Bimini and as much as she slayed those challenges, I don't think that her brand was as complete as Lawrence's was at that time and as thoroughly thought out. And so now that we've had, the Vivienne, who's kind of a jack of all trades, but definitely fits in the mold of a comedy queen, and then Lawrence Chaney, who's definitely a comedy queen, a comedy camp queen. So for season 3, it was like, in my opinion, pretty obvious. I mean, they did this even with season 3 of US, where it's like, a lot of times season 3, they're looking for the fashion girl. I mean, you can even look at España season 3 with Petita. Like, I feel like a lot of times on a 3rd season, I mean, you can even say Isis Avis Laurent, like, that's where they start to look like, all right, well, can you serve beauty though? And I don't know, that's just the trend I've noticed, but I think it was very obvious from the beginning of the season that Crystal Versace was gonna win. Like, she had a very heavy-handed edit at the beginning half of the season, and it almost seemed like she was getting wins that she didn't deserve, but then, in my opinion, Crystal Versace has one of the strongest Drag Race packages ever, and to do that at 19 years old was really impressive. And then when you start to see her lip sync at the end, it's kind of like this momentum from the Dua Lipa lip sync all the way to the lip sync for the crown. Like, she was the best in that finale, especially when Ella Vidae flubbed it so much. It just felt like, if we're thinking about archetypes that the winners fit in, Crystal Versace is the obvious one that's next. And then we get to season 4, and it's kind of that Sharon Needles, lest me say her name, or whatever, Voldemort. She was kind of, the alternative queen, and I think it made sense for Danny Beard to win because of that, even though I was not quite sure they were going to give it to Danny, because I do think it's interesting. Again, they're very heavy-handed with this. Cheddar or Danny winning, either way, it would have been a more alternative style of drag being rewarded in the end. So they're very obvious with what they're looking for, and so I think it'll be interesting to see in the end who makes it to that finale. If I had to guess, I would say Cara and Tamara are locked in. I really think that, just because I feel like production kind of sees them as invaluable. Like, they just give such good confessionals, they kill the runway, they constantly bring the energy, and they've been the source of most of the conflict in the season. I think Ginger with 3 wins now, she's locked in. But again, I don't see her winning. I think maybe that could be a top 3 with them, but I would say Tamara and Cara would be the ones that actually had a chance. And then, who else would, I think, make it? I think Michael Maruli, again, could make it, and Michael has I don't know, his drag aesthetic is strange, because there is a sort of, alt plug kidness. I don't know if that's the right phrase. Like, if you look on his Instagram, he actually did a lot of, like, ball drag before, and he just did it on the runway this week, and I'm like, that can be very compelling, but at the same time, and y'all are gonna call me crazy, but he kind of reminds me of the Vivienne in a way. Kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's giving kind of that. Very professional, but again, I don't see just in the edit Michael winning, but also in terms of, like, drag aesthetic, I don't see that unique thing that sets himself apart from other winners. So I honestly think, if it's down to me, it's gonna be Cara or Tamara in that finale. Some things, just to see if I'm running. I had something to say. Oh, talking about this season as a whole, I think this season has actually been a really great season. Oh, fuck. Okay. This season has been a really great season of UK. Like, I don't know. I just think that the queens are bringing it this season. And is this brow bringing it? No. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, you guys. Drag is a process. What would y'all know about fucking drag? Nothing. Anyways. No, but this season has really been bringing it with the drama. And again, I'm gonna keep saying it. I think it's because of Tamara and Cara. I think they really are the hearts of this season. Yeah, there's nothing on that brush. I think they really are the hearts of this season. But just in general, if you think about the challenges we've had this season, I think, first of all, the premiere was so refreshing. And to see all those Drag Race girls there, I'm sure they were there for Drag Race UK or whatever, or for Drag Con UK. But I think just to see them, it was like, oh, UK is really stepping their pussy up. I mean, if you just think about like the coverage UK versus the world got and how it affected queens like Pangina and Jimbo's careers, like going on that season was invaluable to them in their careers. If Jimbo hadn't gone on UK versus the world, he wouldn't have won All Stars 8. He wouldn't have even been asked on. And that's just to talk about the reach that UK vs. the World Season 1 had, you know? And I think it's launched now. You know, we've got Canada vs. the World happening. We've got UK vs. the World Season 2 happening. We've got Global All-Stars happening, which I'm rooting for Alyssa Edwards, you know? I might do a video on that cast, but I don't know. I feel like y'all already know who's on the season. Like, let's be real. So disgusting, my God. But I think this is one of the strongest seasons of Drag Race UK we've had since Season 2. Which, you know, some people think that's a pretty easy feat when you look at Season 4 and Season 3. Which, Season 4, to me, it wasn't bad. But it wasn't good. It was kind of boring. And you know what I love about drag is when the brows look completely different. You guys, I swear I have talent. I just really, doing this on camera, it's not gonna look good. I'm doing this on my iPhone screen. But you know, this is practice. Never give up, you guys. Because I'm still gonna fucking serve the house down. And you know I'm still gonna look sickening, so don't even worry about it. Like, what is it that James Charles says? Brows are sisters, not twins. Not James Charles. And I'm sorry, speaking of James Charles, y'all, I got this palette on sale. Do not fucking crucify me. Like, this was $20 at Ulta. You think I wasn't gonna pick it up? Well, this used to retail for $60. Like, obviously I'm gonna pick it up if it's on sale. Y'all hear that? What the fuck is that? No, my neighbors are fucking wilding. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I just think that this season of UK has been so good. And I think it's really kind of... Fuck. No, this requires too much concentration. I can't. This literally looks like a blind person is doing their makeup. Honestly, I think a blind person will probably be doing better than me on this. But it's been a really great season so far. And I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. But I do want to talk about that. I think UK is the most successful franchise next to the US. And I think, you know, seeing the Vivienne on All-Star 7, and then seeing not only Pangina, but obviously Jimbo on All-Stars 8, which I know that seems unconnected, but it really connects to UK versus the world and the BBC as a whole. It's really cool to see. I promise y'all, this is gonna turn out so sickening in the end. Like, you have no idea. You don't do drag. You don't do drag. Don't fucking come for me. Do not fucking come for me. You know what, y'all? And now that we've pivoted, I think we've kind of beaten a dead horse in the ground when it comes to UK 5. I think it's gonna be a great season. Let's talk about, recently we just saw the trailer for Canada Season 4, and I think this season of Canada Season 4 is first of all going to slay. First of all, even more so than, well, UK has very, very big guests, but even more so than UK, it's like Canada is really stepping it up with the guests. First of all, I love it when they have the queens on, even if they're out of drag. Like, I think as fans, the show is so self-referential, so it just makes sense to, you know, invite the queens back, right? But I think in terms of, obviously they teased in the trailer there's going to be a format change, so click away if you don't want spoilers about the new format that they're doing on a regular season. That's what I'm saying. This is so crazy that they're trying this out on a regular season, and I think this is really going to make or break a lot about Drag Race going forward. Because if you don't know, the format is going to be the winning queen of the week is going to, there's going to be a bottom three. She's going to choose one of the bottom queen to save from lip syncing, right? So that in and of itself is going to be a gag. Like each week, waiting to see who the queen picked to save. And I think if this goes well, I don't think we're ever going to see it on a normal season of Drag Race, but I think All Stars is in desperate need of a new format, and for All Stars 8, they're bringing over the non-elimination format, but I honestly don't think that's what we want to see, you guys. Like, I think when it comes to the all-winner season, it worked, and I think All Stars 8 will probably be a good season, but I really don't think that's what we want to see in general. Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see how this makeup is going to turn out, because I really have never done it just in this small little camera before, and it's good practice. You know, I know where everything I need to place is going to go, but in terms of how it's all going to blend together and stuff, that I'm not so sure about. What was I saying though? Oh, like this new format, I think it's going to open up a lot of possibilities for drama, obviously. But yeah, I think if this goes well, I feel like it might be like a new format they use for regular All-Stars. You know, like, and I love that about what WoW does is they'll use a franchise like Canada and they'll give them such like a big publicity thing like this, like obviously changing the format up. And they really like take chances with these franchises now. Like, they're not playing it safe anymore. Like, Canada's doing its own thing, and I think it's really going to set a precedent for other franchises going forward. And if we want to pivot again, let's talk about Global All-Stars, mama. I am so excited for Global All-Stars. If y'all don't know the rumor cast, look it up. Like, you can find like a Drag Galore or whatever video on it, or Mira Mangle made a video about it. But this cast, I mean, we should have to talk about Alyssa Edwards returning. I think that's probably the biggest casting news, is that Miss Alyssa Edwards is returning. And the fact that she's going to be there with Tessa Testicle, did y'all see that meme on, I think it was posted to Twitter, where she's just going to have the most iconic reactions in the workroom. I'm not sure how I feel about it being filmed in Colombia on that set. Like, seeing an English All-Stars that's not in the traditional workroom is going to be really weird, I think, to me. I don't know, like Drag Race UK, their workroom to me just feels so much like the American one to where I don't really notice it. But this is really going to be like a different kind of season. I'm so excited that Queen Connie's coming back. Like, if she's in the top, we're gonna get some iconic lip syncs. Who else? I mean, a lot of people. A lot of people. Kitty Scott Claus returning. I love that she's the UK representation. She is so funny, and so funny in her confessionals too. I know people always are like, oh, we want either Tace or Bimini, but I think Kitty's going to really slay that season. And I'm ready for it. I really am. Do I have anything else to say? I don't know that I do. Alright y'all, I'm gonna time lapse the rest of this video and then I'm going to show you the finished look. Because I really ain't got shit else to say.
Pick myself up, turn the world on its head. Don't forget what my mama said. People talking since the beginning of time.
Well, y'all, that's gonna do it. I have no patience in me to like make this look any better than it does right now. Honestly, it looks fine. I did it in the camera. Honestly, I did this in an hour, so this is honestly the fastest I've ever done it, and sure you can tell, but like, I can still go out in a bar and look like this, and I'd be busted, but like, it's presentable enough to where people be like, I can still get $1, you know? I can get $1, right? But that's gonna do it for, don't get too close, girl. But that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what else you wanna see from this channel. You know, I love just sitting down and talking, but you know, in next video when I'm talking, I'm gonna do the makeup beforehand. So you can know, you guys, I promise I have talent. Look on my Instagram, I've gotten better. This is looking like circa 2021, Conspira drag. See, it's like the lips are, I'm not gonna get into it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.